I'm here at the WOW Summit Dubai 2023 at the Atlantis Royal. I'm here with Vesa. Vesa, it's great to have you.
Good to be with you, bro.
Thanks for being on the show with us.
Good to see you as always.
Always a pleasure. I've seen you so many times. I've seen you in many exhibitions. I love your exhibition that you're exhibiting there, right there with the style. Tell us about why you're here at the WOW Summit Dubai and what is it you're exhibiting?
Well, we started our journey with Guy from the very first WOW Summit in 21, and he kindly allowed me to put the two cars that we had at the time with Dr. Marwan into the conference hall, and it was quite a difficult thing to manage that at the time.
Yes.
And he pulled it off, which was absolutely incredible. And then we continued the journey here in Dubai, the next one, and we painted this one car live in front of the Burj Khalifa, and that was no easy thing to get that car onto that area, let me tell you, and he pulled that off. And now again, it was just a while before the conference, I was like, hey, WOW Summit is on, and I sent him a message. He was like, of course, yes, yalla, come in. So I took one of the early crypto artworks that I made in 2017. There was only about 5 fine art quality artists that came along to kind of make art for and about the crypto space at that time to support the movement, who realized how important Bitcoin was. There really wasn't much quality art that had been made that was as dignified as the invention of Bitcoin was. So that piece called the Fork and Flip is about the first potential flippening of Ethereum to Bitcoin that was being discussed. It was kind of about the market forces and what was happening in this space and representing what was going on. So, and that particular piece then ended up being the cover image of the Forbes first ever article on the crypto art money movement in January 2019. So it's a pretty legendary piece, and it's great to be able to finally present it this way here in Dubai as well.
That the car thing that you presented was actually really astounding. I would have loved to have seen the car, but maybe, I mean, I saw your car parked outside when you came. I think I saw some pictures of it. Really amazing work, and I think that's really stands to the uniqueness of what you bring when you come to events.
Yeah, I guess, I mean this space means the world to me. It's when in 2017 I started making crypto art, I had a pretty miserable time in the traditional art realm with digital art for already 10 years before this, because they didn't really get what I was trying to do and why it was important. So it was the crypto adopted my art before the art world does, and now it's kind of going pathways back and forth, but it's these opportunities that have been given to me, especially by Guy and Ralph and Sucker from Crypto Oasis or whatever. It's the good ecosystem and the real builders, and you can really sense it. We're deep in the bear market now, but it's those familiar faces who keep building throughout hype cycle or not, and they're the ones who you really want to be dealing with. So again, it's a fantastic setting. It's, you know,
it's the Royal Atlantis, so you know, one of the iconic hotels that recently opened this year in February. So it's exquisite, it's luxurious, I love it. And I want to ask about, now we're getting into, you know, the AI in digital art and things like that, and we're seeing deep fakes. So I want to get your opinion on how can we, or what's your take, firstly, on generative art, right? People who have no experiences on one hand, copy-pasting and copying the artist's work almost like a clone and claiming it that it's theirs and selling it for millions. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, now after the first hype cycle of NFTs is finished, I don't think many people are selling their sort of regenerative things for millions. I think no one's nearly selling anything in this market, apart from Christos Quantum, who managed to sell out his Synthopia drop with Crypto.com just now. I'm a proud supporter of that project. So some people still manage it, but I would say that most of the generative art still looks pretty much the same. You can still see that this has been made by AI and a specific program and this kind of thing. And maybe sometime in the future, in a couple of years, you won't be able to tell whether that's the case or not. The implications primarily is to me, is like, why do we make art to begin with? What is the part of our human soul that we want to express, and what do we communicate about us human beings to other human beings? And now it's going a little bit in the direction that AI is going to start making art and human beings are still cleaning toilets. And I don't think that's what we really wanted to sign up for when we first got into it. So even though the marketers are going to take over and they're going to do big business with AI and art and all that kind of stuff, I think we're in many levels in society, we're losing the fundament of why we're connected to nature, why we're connected to the cycles of the world, what it is that we're doing. And I think this is the profound questions that we're asking. What are we and why are we? So like often you hear all the different kinds of hype talks about this and this and this new thing and whatever, but we rarely don't think about the price at which this innovation comes with. Right. Now to bring it home, I think no one wants to pixel by pixel paint these 360 worlds in virtual reality and these artworks that you can interact with in the future. So AI is super useful as a tool. But right now, there's no excuse for your art to look bad. There's really, it needs to look spectacular to begin with. But bizarrely, maybe it is that badly done art in the physical realm will start to have more value because that high effort is often where value is. We have no idea where this is headed. But it's an interesting time to be in it. And I'm starting to implement it myself as a tool, as a part of the expression, because it is convenient for a lot of things, but by itself, it can't really do much for your soul yet when you see it. I don't think, at least.
I want to add a point here. So I know, like you said, even though that art can still be distinguished when it's done by AI versus now, and maybe in the future it might change. Another way that AI scammers can attack is not by reproducing your art, but reproducing you as a person and saying, hey, I'm so excited, I'm Vesa, I'm so excited to announce my newest, latest artwork, masterpiece, but you never did that.
Yeah.
That's another way they can attack. And then people will actually buy it because they can't tell the difference. Already now they can't tell the difference if it's AI generated or if it's the real.
No, but I suppose here is where the real, let's say, genuine investors, if you have a Prada bag, if it's going to be Prada, then there's going to be someone making knockoffs of it. It's actually, you kind of need the copies because otherwise you don't have energy in your project in one way. So it's just a continuation of the old knockoff cycle, although the scale of it is pretty frightening of what you can do with things. But this is why the blockchain space is so important, is that the authentication mechanism is why NFTs have value. NFT itself is just a fancy receipt, essentially, for the digital age. But that's what was so stupid about the first cycle of NFTs, is that people thought that the NFT itself was of value. No, it's what the NFT points to and what it authenticates is what the thing is. And then hopefully in the next cycle, when the bull run appears, NFTs are not dead, the technology is needed, and we're just going to have the next cycle of it. And hopefully it's going to be a little bit more refined and a little bit more mature as we truck along, but I'm sure there's going to be some interesting things again now that we enter the next cycle of it.
Well said, yeah. I think you nailed it on the head there. Like, blockchain is the solution to the counterfeiting problem because it's immutable, it's untamperable, and that's the benefits. That's why I'm in this space. It is here to stay. NFTs are not dead, certainly. It's a cyclical cycle, I'll say. So that brings me to my next question. In terms of going forward, going into 2024, we've got many events lined up, including Token 2049 in Dubai. Where do you see yourself as an artist going in the foreseeable future into next year? And do you see a bull market on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, the Bitcoin halving is upon us, coming in about a half a year or something, and the cycle will begin again. What we've been doing now is that, because what was interesting about the bear kind of market is always the different kinds of things that people build. And what I took from the Bored Apes Yacht Club as a thing is because essentially they sold all the IP to the buyer alongside with the artwork. And in the traditional art world, you don't get any of the IP with the painting that you have. So we started implementing this idea of how much IP are we willing to sell from that artwork that you can start to transform your villas, your physical real-life villas, cars, planes, yachts, whatever it is. And sometimes a lot of those things can be liabilities. How can art actually help liabilities become assets? And then there are Web3 implementations. So you have the real car implemented with that art, but also the virtual reality experience of it. Maybe we build a game around it. People can drive those cars. You get to have your digital life represented in that kind of way and really have that kind of utility actually packed into the NFT. Because most of the time when NFTs have been now saying utility, 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 it's actually just fluff. It doesn't really have much of a utility. So we kind of patiently built a real sequence of how to do it so that the word itself is justified.
Very well said. Vesa, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Great insights from an artist, which is different. So thank you guys for watching Web3 TV, and we'll see you next time. Peace.